様の拳などかほどにも効かんわい。お前はもう死んでいる。何？もうあたくびできぜぶ。
Hey guys, so this is the third time I'm making a build with Galvanic Arrow plus Quill Rain, and this is my favorite combo. This is kind of the only buff skill that I like, which is Galvanic Arrow, because when you combine it with the barrage support gem, it becomes like a machine gun. It basically doubles the amount of projectiles, and this time, so I already made like 2 builds like that this year. The second build that I did was, well, with the Dorianus prototype, and that was the most satisfying build that I probably ever did. And a lot of people both times ask me why not just use poison, like, you know, just check in poison and imagine how many poisons per stack, how long poison duration you could do. And previously I always had to explain that it's not as easy just to check in poison and that's it. But this time we can actually do that with the strength stacking replica Alberon's Warpath. You get 1 to 80 heals damage to attacks per 50 strength, and I did a similar build with Ice Crash using these boots this league. But this time I thought this is gonna be the third version, like an ultimate build this league for me. Ultimate as in the build that I could use to farm everything. But to be honest, I am kind of disappointed. It is a strength stacking. I only managed to get 1.1k strength, and my life pool is only 6k, and that's taking more life than I intended to take. So it's kind of disappointing that it's strength stacking. I couldn't get enough strength and I couldn't get enough life. The build does have damage, but it takes a bit of time to ramp up that damage. And in PvP, I'm gonna show a bit later, it has like 15 million DPS after 4 seconds of ramp up time. It's pretty fun. The idea was basically to ramp up poisons, get like 30-second poison duration, and then just run around and let enemies die and bosses die. And it does succeed in that, but it's so sketchy playing with such a low amount of life pool. I do have like 2000 life gain on hit per second because I'm using Watcher Sai for vitality, but it's not really pleasant. I would probably not recommend. Metal is doing basically identical build. If you're new and don't know Metal, definitely check him out. He is doing basically identical build with the powers. He's basically doing a Wander. He's doing a Wander with the Assassin as well, with the strength stacking Alberon's Warpath. And he's on a 5 link. He has way more strength, way more life, and seems to have way more damage. So if you want efficient and properly designed build, like for everything, I guess that version would work much better than this one. But if you want very long stacking, very long duration poison build, then this could also work. I did manage to defeat Sirius 5 without any problems, but Sirius 5 is not really supposed to be like a big challenge. Sirius 8 is more like a challenge. The fully juiced up maps are a bit sketchy. I'm using Rain of Arrows on a 6 link with Mirage Archer for clearing. But if you want like more damage faster, you would have to use a properly crafted rare bow with 60% chance to deal 100% more poison damage, and then try to get as much attack speed as possible. Maybe a bit of crit chance because Assassin, this is a non-crit build, but you still benefit from having more crit chance because you do more poison damage with criticals. That's another issue why Wander works better, because the Quill Rain doesn't have good base crit chance, so it's harder to get more crit, and on Vance it's pretty easy to get crit. Now, because my defenses were lacking, I thought I could make it better by using Temp Chain on Hit Gloves, but it's only level 1 Temp Chain with increased effect, and it doesn't seem to be worth it. I kind of regret buying these gloves. I actually probably overpaid. So the build is not entirely finished. This is level 91. I'm missing 3 nodes. I could refund 2 points from life and get those 3 nodes, Fatal Toxins. And I'm also only have 1 split personality because I didn't buy 2 at the same time, and later Metal did a video and the split personality prices went up like 3 times. So don't want to pay 5 Exile just for 1 split personality, which doesn't even give all that much. Also had a really good Lethal Pride jewel inside Shadow's, jewel socket, and it was giving me 15% increased strength but then I replaced it with Inertia and it was giving me exactly the same amount of strength. So it's not even worth using Lethal Pride, you can just use a bunch of Inertia jewels. I don't have strength on every of my item because I'm gonna show in PoB a bit later that just getting strength doesn't always give you the most benefit. And also when it comes to these boosts, you have to get strength every 50 strength. Like if you get like 999 strength, you're gonna be missing 1 strength to get even more flat damage. So make sure that you always get strength at 50 increments to squeeze in more damage. And I was trying to build the maximum as much attack speed as possible to apply as many poison stacks as possible, and I'm doing like 85 hits per second with Galvanic Arrow. So I can apply over 300 poison stacks recently, which does extend poison duration to around 30 seconds. And obviously I can apply over 1000 poison stacks if I could attack for over 30 seconds. So this build turned out to be pretty expensive. I guess I'm not used to strength or any attribute stacking builds. I did a couple in the past, but I always hated them. Maybe because my brain just doesn't automatically put all things together when it comes to strength stacking and what's the most efficient way to get the damage. I try to get damage not just from strength but from like Chaos damage over time multiplier on gloves, attack speed, accuracy, which I also needed. I decided to go with the frenzy on hit body armor. I got really lucky and was able to craft this myself. Quivers don't normally roll strength, so you can only, I guess, essence. I'm not even sure if you can essence. Yeah, I guess you can essence craft quiver. Actually, I forgot about that. Or you can just bench craft some strength and go with the life and Chaos damage, generic damage over time multiplier or Chaos damage over time multiplier on quiver. So on the helmet you can obviously go with the big strength, or you can go with something like Round of the Tyrant, which is also gonna give you a lot of flat Chaos damage if you got the white socket. And also nearby enemies have -10 to all resistances including Chaos, and it does give a big chunk of life, but it doesn't give all resistances. And that was another issue. It was very difficult to cap my resistance properly. I barely am capping them, and it took some effort. On the belt obviously could be with the percentage attributes. I bought a new belt, tried to craft, didn't really. I mean, if I would craft a new belt with all the proper attributes, it wouldn't give me all that much. I would gain like 100 life more and 150 strength more, which wouldn't really change the damage much. I don't understand how this even works. How does metal get over 1.8k strength and over 7k life and still more damage than me? I just don't get it. The Quill Rain may not be the best, but even if you craft a rare bow, you're still not gonna have that much more damage, and you're gonna have issues with mana, because with this amount of attack speed, the Quill Rain basically actually Quill Rain does not sustain all my mana. I'm even using Replica's Conqueror's Efficiency Jewel, which does give non-challenging skills have -9 to total mana cost. You could craft it on rings, but I'm using rings which I had from the previous Heist Crash build. This one has strength and a lot of resistances, and this one has despair on hit with decent amount of strength and some res. The amulet also has crafted flat strength and increased strength percentage, so there was no room to craft minus mana cost from Alberon. So yeah, the build disappointed me. That is so squishy. It's not really that squishy, it just, if you want to train your butt muscles, I guess that's a good build to play, because your butt muscles are gonna be clenched all the time. For the clean speed, it's alright. For single target, it's alright, but it's kind of squishy. So I went over my items now. My links are Galvanic Arrow, linked with Unbound Ailments, barrage support. Barrage support is very important. Without it, you would have almost no damage with this. Then Deadly Ailments, Wild Toxins, and GMP. Everything with quality as high level as I could get. The Valorant of Arrow doesn't seem to work right now. The MAME doesn't seem to do anything at all. Enemies just move as they normally do. So Valorant of Arrow is linked with Deadly Ailments, Unbound Ailments, Wild Toxins, Vicious Projectiles, and Mirage Archer. I used the Virgin Mirage Archer for a bit longer skill effect duration. So I shoot that, it hits the enemy, it keeps shooting, and you can actually just hit once and just run through enemies for like almost 7 seconds, and the Mirage Archer will kill the enemies. Next I have Steel Skin. I was messing around with the Enduring Cry and the Instant War Cries, but it was always missing the targets and it just didn't seem to provide enough benefit, so I switched to Steel Skin. Also have Herald of Agony, Vitality just low level, and Light and level 3, and Malevolence. The Watcher's Eye for Vitality is the one that gives life gain on hit, because otherwise Leech is not really very effective on damage over time builds, because you're not doing a lot of damage with hits, so it's harder to get enough Leech. For the Anointment, like I said, I went with the double curses, but the temp chain on hit is just a waste. If I could remove the temp chain on hit and just not have corrupted gloves and go with something else, I would do, and then would anoint, I don't know, something else. Then I also have Wither Totem with multi totem, and Dash doesn't even have second wing because I don't have enough sockets. That's the issue of using Crown of the Tyrant. Usually I run out of sockets, and it was harder to cap my resistances. So Crown of the Tyrant does provide a lot of benefits, but if you are lacking resistances and don't really care about having the most damage, go with the Strength Helmet and some resistances. Now also, I usually don't talk about the flash, but I'm using Dying Sun to give me extra 2 projectiles, and extra 2 projectiles basically mean extra 4 hits for me because of barrage, because the way barrage support gem interacts with the Galvanic Arrow, because each arrow will also produce a cone. So if you add 1 projectile, you will shoot an arrow plus a cone. If you add 2 projectiles, you will shoot 2 arrows plus 2 cones. So that's basically 4 hits. So I'm shooting, yeah, with Dying Sun I have 12 projectiles, and 12 projectiles means 24 hits per attack. Now when it comes to PB, the damage numbers looks alright, but this is after applying 350 poison stacks recently, which takes 4 seconds to without interruption to apply that many poisons recently. By the way, Mirage Archer does not count as you applying poison stacks recently, so do not account for that. I do have Frenzy Charges, Elusive, and like I said, after applying 350 poison stacks. If you remove that, you lose a lot of damage, because this is including poison duration. So if you were to check it after like 1 second, which is like 85 poisons per second, the damage does not look that great. I'm actually having a bit more strength in PUB because I was trying different variations, and yeah, that's why I have a bit more strength. And this is level 90, by the way. I forgot to take these, and I was supposed to drop some life nodes, which doesn't really make sense, right? Level 92. Yeah, I would barely even have 6k life. But as you can see, 15 million DPS including poison. That's after 4 seconds of applying poisons. And as you can see, my passive tree, if you saw Metal Splitter, is very similar. Now I'm gonna show you the other version that I did with more strength, which has 1.5k strength and it has less damage. And the reason is that because I was using basically strength everywhere I could. Strength on the helmet, strength on the body armor with increased strength percentage. As you can see, if you just focus on strength, it's not always the best thing. You could also get like here's damage over time multiplier on gloves, which is also a suffix, so no rest then. And then the amulet is basically the same, the rings are basically the same, the belt is with flat strength and percentage strength. This is not totally min-maxed, you could get a bit more, but as you see, the damage is lower because you're now missing frenzy charges. The helmet does not reduce enemy heals resistance, so you're losing a lot. You still don't have more damage. That's why I'm so confused. How did Metal get over 6k life, 7k life with over 1.8k strength? If my life pool is still at 6k with 1.5k strength, so I'm really confused how that strength stacking works. So that's why I did not really change the build from what I had. Also, this was with 2 split personalities. So my actual build is only with 1 split personality in here. I do have Replica's Conqueror's Efficiency, like I said, because I need that. I do have Watcher's Eye in here, but you could use like you could use a normal jewel with mana on hit and life on hit probably. You wouldn't need Watcher's Eye, and then you could use another Inertia in here. By the way, for Galvanic Arrow you do want some AoE and some projectile speed, so these nodes are very good for the Galvanic Arrow. And on cluster jewels I'm using the one with the spare curse effect and then the explode thing, but I'm not sure if explode thing is actually needed, so you probably could get away without it. And I'm using some Wall of Muscle jewels to increase my life and percentage strength. You could use Lethal Pride somewhere, but you would have to gamble on that basically, and I don't want to use it because it's hard to replicate. Anyway, this video is already very long, and as for the next build, I wanted to do a Reflect Totems build, but then I realized that the reverse knockback completely does not work right now. But I think I'm still gonna start a Reflect Totem build and hope that on Monday or Tuesday there's gonna be a fix for that. Otherwise, I'm gonna post maybe some other video with the Crest of Desire helmet test results. So for now, thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.